The United States men's national team embarrassed our nation by being the first host nation to get eliminated in the group stage of the Copa America ever. With this 1-0 loss to Uruguay, Berhalter's boys have said goodbye to the tournament, with Panama advancing alongside Uruguay. An embarrassment, a disgrace that should have people losing their jobs. So what did we learn? Hi, if you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV, and welcome to the 7 Things We Learned series, a channel favorite or one of the favorites, where every single day following a United States men's national team match, we tell you 7 things that we learned. And you can let me know in the comment section, what did you learn from United States 0, Uruguay 1? And understand, I'm not in a good mood, and just like the last video I did, the 7 things we learned, most takes, if not all of them, will be negative. So if you think I'm toxic, I'm sorry. You can leave, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm going to say it as it is, and these will be the takes. I'm not happy. This was a disgrace. This was an embarrassment. You shouldn't be happy, and U.S. soccer shouldn't be happy either. I didn't expect the United States men's national team to pull an Amber Heard and shit the bed, get grouped in the Copa America. But here we are. I am furious, but I'm also not surprised because this is the federation that hired GREGG BERHALTER twice. Now, if you want to hit the like button in the video, it's a great way to support the channel. If you want to do it, you can do it right now. It doesn't take more than a second and it's free. All right, let's go to lesson number 1. Lesson number 1, and understand that a lot of the lessons in this video are not even really lessons. They're like takeaways, rants. It's just me pissed off at this point. GREGG BERHALTER needs to resign. Be a man. You have failed as the United States men's national team coach. It doesn't matter what the federation thinks. Enough is enough. Resign. A strong leader takes responsibility, something GREGG BERHALTER never does. It's past due. I'm not going to go through all the issues with his time as a U.S. men's national team coach. We'll do a video for that. We'll do another stream for that. But BERHALTER, man up. Resign. It's time. TikTok, pal. Time is over. You're no longer the U.S. men's national team coach. You shouldn't be the men's national team coach. Lesson number 2 that we learned this month, or we got the confirmation, is this current U.S. men's national team group of players is soft until proven otherwise. After all, they did want GREGG BERHALTER back. And look what happened. They got what they wanted. They only win at home, or actually nowadays we don't even win at home, right? We lost to Uruguay, we lost to Panama, we lost to Colombia. Every time when push comes to shove, this group of players crumbles with the national team. And I'll say it again. This group of U.S. men's national team players is soft until proven otherwise. Weak mentality, no grit, no passion, no hunger. Soft players get the soft coach they deserve. And listen, Tyler Adams saying, fuck you, and, doing hard tackles, those are not signs of mental toughness. I'm not talking about being able to shove a player. Mentality. The mentality of this team is soft. Now they have 2 years to prove otherwise, right? Until the World Cup. But until then, that's what I'm going with. Lesson number 3. We can complain about Berhalter all we want. We can complain about the players all we want. But we must understand, the problems start up top. The federation is the problem. I mean, I'm not going to have time to go through everything because it would make this video like 3 hours long. But the federation is also the one that allegedly lied to us about a coaching search process that took 6 months, and they ended up rehiring GREGG BERHALTER after his domestic violence case, regardless of being 30 years ago, leaked, and the fact that he's just a shit coach. But it's not just that, right? They also hired Berhalter years ago, the first time they hired him, and, allegedly his brother was also involved, apparently, on this. But whatever. These could just be incompetent moments from the federation, right? Let's say there's no corruption there. Let's just say it's just because they're incompetent. Regardless, Cindy Parlow-Cone, JT Batson, Matt Crocker should resign. They are all a disgrace to U.S. soccer. They should leave. What they've done, they've ruined this competition for the U.S. that we're hosting in the Copa America, and they're killing the momentum for the 2026 World Cup. And JT Batson specifically, he's not a soccer guy. Someone in charge of the federation, he's the CEO in this case, you have to be a soccer guy. You have to understand soccer culture. passion. It can't be a business guy. We need these people out. Now, the other ones are soccer people. I guess it just comes to being incompetent. And again, allegedly for everything I said, right? Now, before we continue, don't forget to drop a like in this video. I'm kind of running out of energy at this point and my voice is also going away. And a quick word from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. We will be back in a minute. Underdog Fantasy is a fun game to play prior to any soccer match or basketball, football as well. You know, it just adds an extra excitement to the game. In this summer, I will be playing Underdog Fantasy during the Copa America and Euros. You can download the app by using the link in the description of this video and use the promo code TMTV. Yes, please, don't forget to use the code. And let me tell you why. Sign up with the code TMTV to claim your special pick plus a first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. The game I mainly play is called Pick'em. I just click on it, scroll to the soccer section, and pick a player for the specific match and select the stats that I believe will be lower or higher. It's very easy to play, but be smart about it because it's not that easy to win. I'll also be playing some Underdog Fantasy during some match live streams during the Copa America and Olympics, posting my picks on X and Instagram, so you must stay tuned for that as well. And once again, I'm a professional hater, so usually I pick anything that will have me rooting for the downfall of that player. With that said, once again, thank you Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the channel. The link to play is in the description of this video, and the promo code once again is TMTV. Thank you Underdog Fantasy. Lesson number 4, which again, it's not a lesson, but many people have been asking, what can we do? How can we put pressure on the Federation to fire Berhalter so we can at least have a fresh start and believe we can do something in 2026, that this team's potential will be maximized? What you can do is you can boycott the sponsors, or at least tag them in social media like I did on Twitter, to let them know that sponsoring this team with Berhalter is hurting their brand. I tweeted this out, that I'll be boycotting and it'll be hurting their reputation until the U.S. men's national team gets rid of GREGG BERHALTER. And listen, if these sponsors see that it's hurting their brand, and these are some really big brands, they will put pressure on U.S. soccer to make changes, or they will just not sponsor U.S. soccer and the U.S. men's national team. Here's a few brands that I know, and I did tag them on Twitter: Volkswagen, Truly, Allstate, AT&T, Nike. There's more, and you can go do your own research, but I put it on Twitter. You can go share my tweet. You can tweet it yourself. Put pressure on them, because then they will put pressure on the Federation. Outside of that, you can keep tweeting, complaining on social media, and maybe it'll have an impact. Hopefully, it does. Now we're off to number 5, and I want to talk about the GREGG apologist fans over the years that shit on me, the media members that shit on me. A lot of this that happened is on you. You called me toxic when I complained about Berhalter in 2020, 2021, 2022. You always had justifications, but he beat Mexico. Well, Mexico's terrible, but he beat that Caribbean island. And you know what's funny? All of them have now turned against GREGG. Are you all happy? It's easy to turn on him now. It's easy to shit on me when I was screaming all of these issues back like in 2020, 2021, and they kept calling me toxic, hot take merchant, even a moron. I've been even called a moron by Alexi Lalas. So all these guys in the media, the fans, and you know, Jimmy Conrad, Heath Pierce, those random journalists that are not very important, I can't even remember their name. Understand, I don't have a personal issue with any of you, but did you all have to do that with me? Did you all have to do that against me or go against me all those years? Are you all just doing these rants now for reactions? Because it's easy to turn on GREGG now. What happened years ago? That's all it is. This is just me getting it out of my chest because I heard a lot of crap over the years, and unfortunately I got proven right eventually. Lucky for us, this happened 2 years prior to the World Cup. So there is still time to get this team on track. There's still time to fix things for the 2026 World Cup. So there's 2 lessons left, 6 and 7, and I want to end with 2 positives. So lesson number 6 is our players against Uruguay, they showed from a technical standpoint that they can hang with the best. They really did match up well with Uruguay. Let's be honest, this Uruguay performance was not the problem. right? The Bolivia performance was bad. The performance against Panama was horrible, and we lost to Panama at home. But against Uruguay, we weren't that bad. We weren't great. We didn't create that many goal-scoring opportunities. We could have done better, and we didn't score a goal. But this team showed they can hang with the best. And if we can get a good coach, if we can get a better coach that the players are uncomfortable with, that they fear, and not buddies, that they're not buddies with, like GREGG BERHALTER, that they respect, a true leader that can get the best out of these players, then I think we can do some damage to the top teams in the world. But in the meantime, there's no evidence of that. There's nothing to back what I'm saying unless we get a new coach. It's time to finally get a coach that elevates this team, not that stagnates or makes them worse. Get a coach that can get our whole to be better than the sum of its parts. Lesson number 7 is that there is still hope. Okay, U.S. Soccer made a statement that it seemed like they didn't like what happened in the Copa America. I mean, that is obvious, but they could have just kept their mouth shut. And I believe it was Matt Crocker that made the statement, and it looks like they will review this Copa America. And I actually think that Berhalter will be fired, and that'll be a fresh start. It'll re-energize this team, and I believe that if they make the right decision, they hire the right guy, this team is still talented. I still believe in these players. I still want them to prove me wrong about me calling them soft, and I think they can. The talent is there. I still believe in these players, and I still think there's hope if the Federation does things right. And I know this video, now just to close things off, will piss a lot of people off. And if you think about it, I just called out a bunch of brands. I shit on a bunch of brands. I'm shitting on a bunch of people. This closes a lot of doors for me for access. But I don't care. It's about doing what's right. It's about U.S. soccer living to its potential. All those brands I called out, they're probably never going to sponsor me. Would they ever sponsor me? Who knows? They're associated with soccer. Maybe one day they would. But again, it's about making things right. So that's what we have to do right now. And hopefully we learn from this and we still have a good World Cup 2 years from now. I want to thank you all very much for your support. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fans. Me and Dustin, actually, the channel producer, we appreciate all the support from the bottom of our hearts. We will be doing a full coverage talking about coaches that can replace Berhalter and putting more pressure on the Federation to get him out. And once he's out, believe this national team still has talent. Don't give up on them. Trust me, these players can and will do better. Hit the like button before you go. I want to thank you all very much for watching and have a great day.